No, 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 no. I need a more appropriate hat for this video. There we go. That's more like it. We are seriously 1-3. I know I haven't made a video talking about the past 2 games, but I've had a lot of crap come up in my life, school and work, and I got sick, so I wasn't able to make videos. But it's just, this team is 1-3, you know? Seriously, please answer me this question. How did we beat the Bills in week 1? How? Honestly, how did we beat the Bills in week 1? The Bills are 3-1. The Steelers, the Bills only lost this season, you know? And look how good they're doing, and look how absolutely terrible we're doing. Okay, I might as well have to talk about the past couple games since I haven't talked about them in previous videos. So, the Steelers go into Buffalo and beat them 23-16. I made a video about that. I was like, hey, Steelers actually look pretty good, you know? I mean, I mean, second half Steelers looked pretty good. The first half, they didn't score a single point. And then the next week, they go and take on the Raiders at home and lose 26-17. And, of course, it goes back to terrible offense. You know, terrible play calling by Matt Canada, terrible execution, and also terrible play calling by Ben Roethlisberger. Don't put all the blame on Matt Canada. The majority of this blame needs to be put on Ben Roethlisberger, and also needs to be put on Mike Tomlin for his severely questionable decision-making during games as well. Like, I'll say a huge example. The Bengals game last week. 4th and 10, you're down by 14 points. You need 10 yards, and you're in deep enemy territory. What do? A tiny little pass. It only goes for 2 yards. 2 or 3 yards. Why not do that kind of thing on first down? And then do like a little similar thing on second down. So then it will be 3rd and short, not 3rd and long like it is all the time. And then it's always 4th down. I can't tell you how many times the Steelers got on 4th down yesterday. And I couldn't even watch the first quarter of this game because CBS was being dumb, and they didn't even show the first quarter because they thought the rest of Titans-Jets was more important. Even though Packers-Steelers was the game of the week. Every week, CBS has their game of the week that's always in the evening, and it was scheduled to kick off at 4:25 Eastern Time. And since it was in Green Bay, it was 3:25 p.m. They went through a commercial-free first quarter in Green Bay because CBS thought the rest of Titans-Jets was more important. You thought watching the rest of a game that could only be watched in like Tennessee or in New York was more important than your freaking game of the week. What a freaking joke. You know, whoever was in charge of that needs to be fired in CBS. You do not play over the game of the week. And even if it wasn't the Steelers, even if it was next week's game of the week, I don't even know what it is, it would still suck. You know, I'm not the only one that had this issue. Everyone in across the whole United States had this issue. There were a couple evening games. There was Ravens-Broncos, which could only be viewed in around the Colorado, Wyoming area and the Maryland area. And then there was Seahawks-Cardinals, which was only viewed in the Seattle and Arizona area. Everywhere else saw Steelers-Packers. And where I live, I saw Steelers-Packers too. And, you know, and I couldn't watch the first quarter because the freaking Titans and Jets are apparently more important. You know, CBS better not do this again. Thank God I got to see Ben's huge touchdown to Deontay Johnson. But that was on their opening drive. You know, pretty much everywhere else, Every other drive, the Steelers did absolutely nothing while the Packers marched down the field on 5 straight possessions and scored either a touchdown or a field goal. You know, we couldn't stop Aaron Rodgers on defense, which is expected because he's really a good player. You know, the Packers defense looked like they were the best defense of the week by the way our offense played. You know, we scored 2 touchdowns. We scored one in the opening drive, and then we scored another one late in the fourth quarter. Literally, no touchdowns in the second and third quarter. Why is this offense so bad? It's because of Ben, mainly because of Ben. He needs to retire. I am tired of making excuses for Ben about why he's been bad the past couple years. 2020 we were like, okay, well, he did have that elbow tendon surgery that he suffered in 2019. But you know what? It has been 2 years. You have no more excuses, Ben. You either need to make up your mind and actually play good or just retire. You did get your 400th touchdown of your career yesterday, and you did surpass Dan Marino for passing yards in your career. But seriously, you need to go. I appreciate everything you've done for the Steelers. You've taken us to 3 Super Bowls, won 2 of them. You know, multiple seasons we have not had a losing season since 2003, and that was before Ben Roethlisberger showed up. Ben's rookie season was the next year. We have not had a losing record, and that streak is probably going to end this year. We're 1-3. Now, I know the Steelers have started 1-3 in 2019, and we ended up bouncing back, and then we ended up 8-8. But you know why? Because we didn't have Ben as quarterback. That was the season we had Mason Rudolph and Duck Hodges going back and forth. This upcoming draft, the Steelers need to draft a quarterback. We need a quarterback that is younger, who's more mobile, who can actually make good throws. It was absolutely embarrassing, laughable at how many easy touchdowns Ben had missed. He had missed 2 throws. He is lucky he made that first one to Deontay Johnson, because later he missed 2 touchdowns that probably would have won us the game. And now next week, we go back home and we take on Denver, which I don't know who's going to win that game. The Broncos are pretenders. You know, they're 3-0. But if you looked at it, going into that game, all of the teams they had beaten were combined 0-10. They beat the Giants in week 1. Then they beat the Jaguars in week 2. Then they shut out the Jets in week 3. And then they take on Baltimore and only score 7 points against them. So the Broncos are pretenders. And 2 of the teams they did beat ended up getting their first win. The Giants and the Jets both won their games. And honestly, here's my hot take. Baby, everyone's acting like the Giants are bad, are terrible. The Giants are not. The Giants should be 3-1 right now. The Broncos game in week 1 is the only game the Giants legitimately lost. They lost in week 2 to Washington because of dumbass mistakes. Because of a stupid unnecessary holding call on the huge Daniel Jones run that ended up being that called back a touchdown. Or Darius Slayton dropping a wide open pass in the end zone. And then Dexter Lawrence, whatever his name is, jumping off sides on the field goal that Washington missed. And then Atlanta, they had a dropped interception and then a 4th down stop, which was a penalty. So the Giants should be 3-1. So stop saying the Giants are terrible, because they're not. If they're so bad, then how come they beat the Saints? The Jets, I don't know. But anyway, just after the week 1 game, I honestly thought we had a legitimate shot to be a good team. But the past 3 weeks have proved to me otherwise. You know, after that, we go back home. First home game of the season. And lose to the Raiders. 26-17. The Raiders are a good team. They're undefeated. They play tonight against the Chargers. I don't know who's going to win that game. Both teams are good. And then go back home, stay at home the next week and take on AFC North rival Cincinnati Bengals and lose 24-10. Only scored one touchdown, which is a Juju Smith-Schuster run right before halftime. And that's it. Steelers are so pathetic. They can't score touchdowns. Every time it's either a 3-0, 3-0, 3-0, 3-0, 3-0, 3-0, and then they punt it away. Or when they do get close, they don't capitalize, and they only have to settle for field goals all the time, and it's a toss-up if Boswell makes it or not. And then lose to the Bengals at home last week was the first time since 2015 that the Bengals beat the Steelers in Pittsburgh. And then this week lose to the Packers. This wasn't a shock. I already knew the Steelers were going to lose this game, but still, it's just so aggravating that week after week after week after week, it's just the same stuff over and over again. And even Matt Canada said that, in a conference a couple days ago, that the Steelers were just going to keep doing what they've been doing. Are you not paying attention, Matt Canada? Do you see how terrible this offense is and you want to keep it going? That kind of crap is going to get you fired. And I know my voice cracked. That's how mad I am right now. Matt Canada has some blame to put on this offense. You know what? I'm done. You know what? I'm done with this team. I'm done. I'm done.